Hi everyone, I'm Sydney Cassignol. I'm a senior finance and accounting major.
I'm Ben Petco, a senior finance major.
And I'm Cody Travis, and I'm a junior finance major.
Our company this semester was Delta. Delta is one of the world's largest global airlines, and they have become a leader in domestic and international air travel. They are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. Delta offers flights to over 300 destinations in more than 60 countries around the world. Delta's global route network has a presence in almost every major domestic and international market for travel. Delta has several joint venture and service agreements with international and domestic regional airlines that have helped them access international and small to mid-sized domestic markets. Delta operates in three segments: airline, refinery, and other. The airline segment is their main area of operations and revenue. The refinery segment consists of the oil refinery that they own, Monroe Energy. And the other segment comprises of other smaller operations and activity that Delta participates in. Delta operates in the major airline industry along with companies such as American Airlines, Southwest, United Airlines, and many more. Delta serves more than 180 million passengers annually. They employ more than 80,000 people, and they maintain an aircraft fleet consisting of more than 80 planes. Delta has a market cap of $38.36 billion, and in their 2018 first quarter earnings report, they reported an EPS of 74 cents and revenues of $9.76 billion.
Now I'm going to go over a timeline of Delta Airlines. So Delta was founded in 1924 in Macon, Georgia as an agricultural crop dusting and airmail delivery company. 5 years later, in 1929, they conducted their first domestic passenger flight. From 1946 to 1949, Delta begins expanding flight options and nonstop flight services across the United States. From 1953 to 59, Delta expands services to international and connecting flights. By 1970, Delta had a completely jet-powered fleet and started service with the then brand-new Boeing 747. And in 1972, Delta merged with Northeast Airlines and became a major player in New York and Boston. Through the rest of the 70s, Delta expanded its cargo services through Delta Dash and Delta Air Express. During the 1980s, Delta focused on opening and expanding operations in Asia, and throughout the 90s, they continued to expand international passenger and cargo flights. In 2000, Delta launched a massive global alliance called SkyTeam and also placed the industry's largest order of regional jets at a total of 500 aircraft. By 2006, Delta had service to more destinations than any other global airline, with 124 new nonstop routes and 41 destinations. In 2008, Delta acquired Northwest Airlines, creating a global airline with major operations in every region of the world. In 2010, Delta announced a plan to invest $2 billion to improve customer experience, including upgraded aircraft interiors. And finally, in 2016, St. Bonaventure alumni Ed Baston is named CEO of the company.
So now I'll get into the major problems that Delta is facing. Delta had a recent controversy regarding their disagreement with the National Rifle Association. They used to offer NRA members discounted flights, even though only 13 NRA members actually used this in the past. Delta publicly announced that they were cutting ties with the NRA after the mass shooting recently at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. Georgia state officials, who are mostly conservative, met Delta with heavy backlash after they announced their decision. Delta was on the verge of being awarded a $38 million tax break before the announcement, but ended up not being given the tax break, large in part to their public split with the NRA. Their CEO, Ed Bastian, announced they were not going to go back on their decision simply because it was costing them money. Another problem facing Delta is the fact that they have a much older aircraft fleet than other major U.S. airlines. Planes from United and American's fleet of aircraft are 12 to 13 years old on average. Delta has a much older fleet as their planes are typically around 17 years old. They've built a reputation for buying second-hand used aircraft instead of spending the money on new and updated planes. Delta combats this issue by having the most well-known maintenance operation in the business, which is essential when most of your planes are older and susceptible to breaking down. Recently, Delta purchased an order for 50 wide-body Airbus jets, costing them a total of $14.3 billion. This is the second major Airbus order that Delta has made in the last 14 months, which means two things. Delta looks like it is switching over from buying their usual buyer, Boeing, to buying from Airbus, and that Delta may be finally starting to keep up with their purchases of new aircraft in order to update the modernness of their aging fleet.